Scripting, one of the greatest techniques out there for manifestation. We're going to go through it all, how to do it, how you can use it today, and how you can literally quite manifest anything you want using this technique. Though, just to give you a little disclaimer, it's not always overnight for everything you want. Though, as you start to activate the things you want in motion, you can start to increase your manifestations at rocket speed following this technique. Hey, Scott Houck here with the Manifestation Accelerator, where manifestations and results are made easy. In this video, we're going to go through the how-to step-by-step process on the scripting technique. Just before we jump into it, throw a like on the video. As you do so, you're going to send it out to a lot more people. This YouTube algorithm is going to send it out, and we can together raise the consciousness of this planet. Also click subscribe and then click the bell icon so you're notified when we send out other manifestation great how-to content, methods, anything like that, as this channel is your go-to channel on the literally how-to methods and techniques to get results. So let's get into it. Scripting. Basically, scripting is the name that it says, scripting. You're going to actually write out something in a journal, piece of paper, pad. You can write it even electronically in a Word document, anything like that. Though I always encourage any of my clients to actually write it out on an actual piece of paper, because it's going to do a little different brain kind of waves with that compared to technology. You're not going to be so distracted as well. You can sit in a quiet place and have a screen in front of you. So I encourage you to take a pad and paper. What is scripting? Well, how does manifestation even work? I'm sure you've heard of this before. You've heard of the laws of the universe, law of attraction. So you have a base of knowledge before getting into this. But literally, scripting is actually getting into the energy of what you want and feeling it to be true today, so that it actually starts to be activated into your life, if you will, into your physical life. Now, when we're scripting, it actually helps combat the number one thing that stops manifestation, and that's chronic doubt, worry, and fear that it's not going to happen, or the chronic questions that come to mind. Where's it going to come from? How is it going to happen? When's it going to come? That's that is the number one thing in manifestation that blocks people from actually getting what they want. Scripting is going to allow you to focus less on the where, less on the how, less on the when, and actually more focused on the why. Why do we want to manifest anything? It's because the feeling that we're going to get from it, it's not just the actual thing. Right? So if we're trying to manifest something into our lives, why do we want more money? Well, probably because we want the feeling of freedom. We want the feeling of security. We want the feeling of confidence. We want the feeling of contribution, like what we're going to do with the money. We want the feeling of giving, right? So it's not just the money that we're after, it's about the feeling that's going to come from actually the receiving of the money. Why do we want a brand new car? We want to feel relieved that the old rusty car is going to fall apart and not start one day, right? Or that the engine's not going to do so well, or that maybe it smells like exhaust, right? So we want the feeling of excitement to actually drive rather than feeling frustrated with the car, right? Or any of those things, right? So you can see it's all about feeling. I mean, you name it. Why do we want a partner in life? Why do we want this? Why do we want that? It's always because the feeling that comes with it. So scripting really helps you dive into that feeling, which is quite literally how you manifest anyways, by focusing on the why. Why do you want it? So let's go through a step process here. As you're watching the video, I'd take notes. I'd just do it right now. Keeps you accountable, and that's how you're going to get results and really move things forward for yourself. So step number one is write down the thing that you want in the present tense. I now received $10,000. I now have in my life my perfect partner. I now have this dream home and am living in it every day. Whatever it is, put in the present tense. I now received blank. You can alter the words a little bit, but you want to put it in the present as if it's already done. So you have that down. You mark that for 10 different things. So on your journal page, on your piece of paper, you did it for number one. Do for 10 other things. Make it small, big things, things that are unexpected, things that might be kind of expected, any of those things. Write down all of it. You want to get into the essence of asking for everything that you want. You might ask for a spiritual gift, an unexpected spiritual gift. We've all heard before the cliche things, asking for a parking space, closest to the building, or front row parking or whatever, a free cup of coffee, right? We've all heard those things before, but you want to ask for those things because sometimes the smaller things have a little more or less resistance, a little more flow around them, a little more believability, right? It's a little easier sometimes to believe in a free cup of coffee than to attract an extra $20,000, right? So you want to vary it up. You want to do things that you believe in, some things you don't just yet. You're going to work on that stuff. So you get 10 things on your sheet of paper. Number 2 here is you're going to write down underneath the quality, or underneath the actual things that you desire, the qualities and characteristics of each of them. So if you want a free cup of coffee, do you want a free cup of cold coffee? You might, right? You might want an iced cup of coffee, but maybe you want a hot cup of coffee, right? So you want to dictate and write down the qualities and characteristics of each of your desires. For coffee, you might want it sweet rather than black coffee. You might want a certain type of coffee, light or dark. You might want it hot or cold, like I've already mentioned. Write down the qualities and characteristics. For money, do you want it to come really difficult, right? Putting in 60 hours of work, hard working labor to get the money? No. Maybe you want to work not at all. You want it to come surprising in a positive way. You want it to come effortless. You want the money to come from a joyful source, right? Somewhere where it's really good to come from, right? Rather than trying to get it from a certain way, right? So you want it to be open. Okay, that would be a good one. If you want to attract your dream home, what is the qualities, characteristics? You want a little studio, 500 square foot apartment? That's okay if you do. Or do you want a 2,000 square foot condo apartment, or whatever it is, or a house, right? How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? What is the vibe of the place? What are the neighborhoods like? What are the sound levels like? I mean, whatever it is, you write down the qualities and characteristics. That's step number 2. Again, why are we doing this? Because when you ask for something, you want to be clear on what you're asking. That's part of the scripting, okay? Because if you just ask generally, you can get anything around that general energy. So, easy example is that cup of coffee, right? If you say, you know, I want a free cup of coffee, well, in the general phrase that you say there, there's so many possibilities. There's so many possibilities of getting warm coffee, cold coffee, hot coffee, scorching hot coffee. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? All these different combinations of coffee, and then you might get it and you'd be like, I didn't want this. This is gross, right? It's not my favorite. It's not good. It's freaking cold, or whatever it is. Okay, so you get the gist. You want to be very clear on what it is that you want. Now, you're not overly clear on how it comes to you, though. It's very important. So when you're scripting out the qualities and characteristics, you don't need to say, and really you shouldn't, because it's going to block the channels that are open to you right now. You're going to try and get it from a specific channel. But remember, we don't control the conditions and circumstances. We control the thoughts in order to manifest a scenario. Very important. So you don't say, I want a cup of coffee from the Starbucks that is 2 blocks from my house at precisely 10:23 a.m. given to me by this person at this exact time frame while they said good morning to me, right? What's going on? Because out of all the possible channels or routes the universe can deliver this cup of coffee to me, I'm tightening it to say none of these work for me. I need it through this. And internally, I'm going to start to feel like that's impossible. There's no way, right? And you're going to take all these channels, all these possibilities. You're going to try and dictate how it has to come, but the universe has a different path of least resistance, right? It might be a path of least resistance. Somebody was in your building lobby, or maybe you're in a house, so it's not going to relate to you, but you're in your building lobby and somebody has 4 cups of coffee they're giving out because they had a giveaway going on in the local coffee shop down the road. That's even better than needing to go somewhere, paying for it, or if it's a free cup of coffee that you asked for, getting it but not to your liking, or it's not ready yet, so it's in a longer time period, right? So you want to remain open to how it comes, because the universe has the path of least resistance, not us as a human being in this physical time-space reality. Okay, so you write down your qualities, characteristics. Step number 3 is you write down why you want it. So you have your desire, qualities, characteristics, then you write down why. Why do you want the free cup of coffee? Well, That one's probably like, well, I don't really care about saving $5 on paying for a cup of coffee. That's not why I want it. Really, why I want it is to prove to myself that I create my reality. It's a great why. It's a great reason. If you want a certain amount of money, you write down the why, what you're going to do with it. I want an unexpected $10,000 because $2,000 of it, I want to start building up savings to build some financial security in my life. I want to take another $2,000 and store it away for a family vacation. I promised my family, I know we're going to go on. It's going to be so much fun, so much experience of experiencing this world. I want to have that. I also want to take $3,500 of it and pay off my credit card. I also want to take $500 and put that into like a gift savings so that I'm planning ahead for the giving gift opportunities I'm going to give to birthdays or Christmas or holidays this year. Right? So you write down why. Those are all great reasons on why you want the money. Same thing goes with the dream home. Well, I want to be able to experience luxury. That is my birthright, that I know I can do. I want to be able to have a big enough space to host family parties, to have everyone come together in love and celebration, to have more fun and more love in my life. Great reasons, right? I want to manifest this greater place because I want a safer and more secure neighborhood to allow myself to experience going for a walk and feeling like I'm safe and good, right? Another great reason. You do this for all 10 of your desires that you started with. 10 desires, 10 qualities, characteristics in those 10 desires. Okay, you could have a couple of qualities, couple of characteristics for each one. Okay, again, we're just saying for the 10 desires, having a bunch of qualities and characteristics, and then having some reasons on why you want it. What have we been doing? This might take you about 20, 30 minutes or whatever it is, right? What are we doing here? We're getting into the spirit of our desire. We're starting to live it in imagination. Right? If you're writing down your dream home qualities and characteristics and why, what are you doing in your mind? You are quite literally living in that space already. You're working from the higher side, the fourth dimensional imaginational side, and working from that side to the lower side, the 3D world, right? So you're living there in imagination. Once you have that done, step number 4 is you feel it to be true. So you close your eyes and live each of those events. See it in your mind that you're receiving a cup of coffee. See it in your mind that you're living in a dream home. See it in your mind that you're receiving the amount of money. So you actually just create an end scene, if you will. That's what we call it. We create an event that's happening in your mind as if it's already done. Okay, so you have that in your mind. Once you do that in step number 4, you've become it. And we manifest what we are, not what we want. Okay? Once you feel it to be true, you become it. That's how you become it. You feel it to be true today. Okay? So once you feel it to be true in step number 4, step number 5 is let it go. Do again a scripting process the next day. You do the same things or different ones. Okay? But what you're doing is dropping emotional ideas into your subconscious mind, which presses it onto the screen of this physical world, and it must manifest itself to and through you in a certain amount of time. All right? So that's the 5 steps there. Okay? But this scripting model, again, what we're doing is we're getting away from thinking and over obsessing about how's it going to come, where's it going to come from, when's it going to come, and we're actually going to dip into and zone into the feeling as if it's done, why we want it, all of that good stuff. Okay, so you're going to absorb yourself in that feeling, and that's how we manifest. You feel it to be real today, you feel it to be present, it's going to actually come. Those other questions, where, when, and how, okay, those are going to manifest the absence of it, because I feel like, where's it going to come from? It's saying it's not here. When's it going to come? It's not here. How's it going to come? I don't believe it's going to come here. Okay, so literally the scripting technique is so powerful because we are getting into the essence and the energy of the presence of what we want. Try it out. It's going to change your life. You know, you're really going to be able to move things forward at a great rate. This is a technique I give some of my very, very high investment clients, and also in our courses as well. I really lay out this process. So try it out. If you do want even more of a fuller explanation, even though this is very full already, you want to dive deep into some of the deepest techniques and methods that are proven to work over and over and over again with thousands of members. Just go in the description below, click the link to join into our course, join into our coaching, and it will really allow you to experience the fullness of your manifestation powers moving forward. Scott Houck signing off here. Try out the technique. Let me know in the comments below what your results are. Let me know how things go for you, how this changes your feeling overall. And I look forward to hearing all about the good things that start happening in the miraculous life that you live. You're doing a great job. Thank you for doing great work. Thank you for being here on the channel. Thank you for investing yourself in the ideas of who you truly are and fulfilling that potential within you. You are a unique individual. Keep going after your dreams. Keep going after what you want. Stay here on the channel. Watch all these videos. Watch this video every single morning over and over and over until it gets ingrained in your mind that you are a manifesting master, a manifesting champion, allowing your results to pour forward. Sending light and prosperity over to you.